The Bhopal gas tragedy of 1984 is a very sad memory for India. It reminds us of what can happen if we don't care for the environment. Many people died and many more suffered. It showed everyone that our environmental rules weren't strong enough. It was a wake-up call. India needed to protect the environment better and make companies responsible for their actions. We needed strong laws to stop such terrible things from happening again. The country was very sad and wanted action. The government promised to make stronger environmental laws. This led to the Environment Protection Act of 1986, a very important law to prevent future tragedies. The Environment Protection Act of 1986 was a big step for India in protecting the environment. Before this law, the rules about the environment were all over the place. The Act put all these rules together like pieces of a puzzle, making it easier to manage the environment. This made it simpler to follow and enforce the rules for everyone. The Act was very thorough. It set standards for clean air and water, controlled dangerous materials, and managed waste. This all-around approach made sure everything about protecting the environment was handled together. Stopping pollution was very important. The Environment Protection Act of 1986 had many rules about it. The Act let the government set standards for air and water quality, how much noise was allowed, and how much waste factories could release. These standards were like rules for companies to follow, so they wouldn't pollute too much. The Act also made companies get permission before starting work, especially for big projects that could affect the environment. This helped stop pollution before it started, instead of trying to fix it later. The Ganga Action Plan, started in 1985, was a good example of this. It focused on cleaning the holy river Ganga. Section 4. The government's power keeping our environment safe. The Environment Protection Act of 1986 gave the central government a lot of power to make sure the law worked. The Act let the government make environmental rules and guidelines for the whole country. This made sure everyone followed the same rules. The Act also let the government check the environmental impact of big projects. These checks helped understand the good and bad effects of a project before it started. The government could also inspect factories to make sure they followed the rules. Section 5. The cost of ignoring the rules. Penalties for non-compliance. Rules are only good if people follow them. The Environment Protection Act of 1986 had strict penalties for those who broke the rules. Companies that didn't follow the rules had to pay big fines every day until they fixed the problem. For serious problems, people could go to jail for up to 5 years. This showed how seriously the government took environmental crimes. Besides fines and jail time, the government could also shut down polluting factories, cancel their permits and make them clean up polluted areas. These strict rules made sure that polluting was more expensive than following the rules. Section 6. Sustainable Development Planning for the Future. The Environment Protection Act of 1986 wasn't just about fixing past mistakes, it was about planning for a better future. The Act understood that we need to grow without harming the environment. We need to meet our needs today without stopping future generations from meeting their needs. This idea was in all the rules, encouraging saving resources, stopping pollution, and using environmentally friendly technology. Companies were encouraged to use cleaner methods and invest in new clean technologies. By thinking about the environment in all our plans, the Act aimed to build a stronger and healthier future for India. Section 7. Our shared duty, protecting our planet. The Environment Protection Act of 1986 reminds us that protecting the environment is everyone's job, not just the government's. Everyone, from single people to communities and companies, needs to do their part to protect the environment for today and tomorrow. We all need to live sustainably, saving water and energy, making less trash, and being careful about what we buy. As citizens, we need to make sure our leaders follow environmental laws and support good environmental policies. We should also support groups that protect our natural resources and teach people about the environment. By working together, we can make a cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable future for everyone.